Before we start this podcast, I want to definitely remind you of a sponsor for Fresh of the Word, 20 by 20 Apparel. Founded in 2015, 20 by 20 Apparel brings original tributes to pro wrestling's classic arenas, moments, and events. They look to spotlight the bloopers, bleeps, and body slams along with the biggest, smallest, strangest, and strongest. In the world of wrestling where there's hundreds of shirts, promotions, flyers, social media accounts, and ads, don't get lost in the sea of parody shirts and display fonts. They can provide professional graphic design services at a reasonable price. 20 by 20 also hand screen prints all the tees in-house. So if you'd like to discuss a possible run of tees, posters, koozies, foam fingers, or even Zubaz, then drop them a line at 20by20apparel.com. That's the number 20x, the number 20apparel.com. And also check out their enamel pin line. It's super cool.
Fresh is the word.
I'm Jim Duggan, got long wood for plenty hoes. I keep it fresher than fresh, but you already know. You suckers bummy, I'm money, I got a ton of flows. My weed loud like a motherfucking thunder roll. Your shit quiet like you ballin' on a budget though. We see your kicks and we laugh and yellin' what it goes. You see me shining like a suit on puffy. You know my grindin' shit is too strong, buddy. That's why the dude call money. I be stuntin' like it's nothing at all. Cause it's nothing to me, it's probably something to y'all. Trying to smoke like me, then come and fuck with your dog. Got a closet full of kicks, you can't cop it tomorrow. And I'm fresher than the freshest, you can tell it's in my essence. Bitch, you see the way I'm rapping, yes I do this shit to death. I tell I'm running out of breath, I tell somebody cut a check. But either way you know it's fresh, and either way you know it's fresh. Fresh, we fresh. Fresh, 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 goddammit, we fresh. Fresh, fresh, goddammit, we so damn fresh.
All right, welcome to the Fresh is the Word podcast. I'm your host, Kelly K. Fresh Frazier, and like always, we have the freshest of guests. My guest for this episode is the lead vocalist for the New Zealand four-piece band Devilskin. Welcome to the show, Jennie Skulander.
Hello, nice to be here.
Great. I first heard of Devilskin from the last album of yours, the Be Like the River.
Yep.
I remember getting a promo for that, and I really enjoyed it. My favorite track on that album was House 13.
Oh, yeah.
I really enjoyed that one, and I was like, all right, cool. They got a new album coming out. They have a new album. It's called Red. It's coming out worldwide, all the platforms on April 3rd, which will be a week from when we're recording this. So, what was sort of the mind state of the band going into making this album?
Well, it'd been a few years since we'd actually released something, so we just wanted to have an album with a lot of passion. There's a lot of emotion in the album. Actually, a lot of the songs written from life experiences. And we just wanted it to be kick-ass and to be a step up from Be Like the River and We Rise as well.
You know, when you were going into making this album and you wanted to, make that next logical step, what were some of the things you thought about? What were some of the things that maybe you're like, okay, we did this well on the last album, but we want to do it better now? Were there any things like that?
There was more us taking control. We had a producer and he'd give us ideas, and a lot of the time we just kind of roll with ideas, but this time we're like, no, we're gonna do it this way, sort of taking control of the album. That's pretty much it. I mean, just trying to be all on the same level as well, which can be hard when you're in a four-piece band.
Definitely. What were sort of like some of the freedoms that you feel like you had with this album in comparison to rolling with all those ideas from the producer last time?
Just sort of using little tidbits of sound, suggesting vocal ideas and me going, well, no, I want to stick to my guns with this one. yeah, it's I don't know. It was just a lot better recording wise for this album. So I think we're all pretty happy, and we're all a lot more comfortable with how the process went than the last few years.
Like your vocal ideas for this record, you know, how would you describe them? What do you feel like it was different on this record?
Just a lot of the harmonies are a little, you know, slightly different ideas there, and just sort of the scream stuff I wanted to do, you know, a bit more brutal, I guess.
When you kind of look at the sort of progress that this band has made since it was formed back in on 2010, and you were in bands before then, you know, sort of like what kind of sticks out in your mind? What kind of sticks out on your mind about like those beginning years of this band, you know, transitioning from another band and where you've come so far?
Just we've matured a lot over the years. Well, I've matured a lot. I think my voice has changed as well over the years. I've got better control now. It's a bit more raspy as well, which is cool.
Yes, it is cool.
And yeah, you just knowing more what to do when you're in the studio and on stage, and still loving it though, you know, absolutely still feeling like it is day one of being in a band. Yeah.
What do you do personally to sort of, you know, using your voice as an instrument, you know, what do you do to sort of mold that talent, mold how you use your voice, you know, take care of it?
I do a lot of warm-ups. I make sure my fitness is a big part of it, you know, especially coming up to a gig. I'll work extra hard. I'll do warm-ups every day, or even recordings as well, and just eating healthy and that sort of thing. So I feel like whatever you put in your body and what you do is going to help with your voice.
Or,
yeah.
You know, what kind of a kid were you? You know, when did you first sort of get that music bug?
Well, I was raised on a lot of heavy metal from my dad, so like Judas Priest and Dio and stuff. And
yeah.
I remember I started piano lessons when I was 9, and then I was sort of joined the school orchestra or whatever. I joined a vocals group at high school just mainly to get out of classes and to hang with my friends. But the music teacher saw something in me and made me come in on weekends and work on things, and then I guess my dad had some musician friends who got me together with some band members. This is like back in 2001, and it kind of went from there. And I realized that this is what I wanted to do, you know.
Right. What are some of the things that you did outside of music growing up? You know, what were some of your favorite memories?
Growing up, I'm from a place called Rotorua in New Zealand, so it's like the tourism place of New Zealand.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. I mean, I was right into art as well as a kid, like drawing, especially drawing little cartoons and stuff. New Zealand's got a pretty cool. Like, everyone was just chill kids, and used to ride my bike a lot.
You know, from your perspective, what's sort of like the, you know, kind of extend on that more, sort of like the culture in New Zealand, like, especially when you were growing up, you know, how did that sort of affect you?
I think just a lot of kids in New Zealand, especially the late 80s, 90s is when I was a kid, just you're outdoors more. We didn't really have a lot of video games.
Right.
Growing up, my household didn't have the internet or a computer. So we were always outside, you know, on the trampoline or, you know, I did a little bit of gymnastics when I was younger. So it's always that sort of stuff. Just outside and play for hours until it was dark, you know?
You know, as you, you know, started to grow up, became an adult, you know, How did sort of like your surroundings influence your, your art, your music? What was sort of like, New Zealand like during that time?
I guess coming into, say, teenage years when I was really getting into rock music and stuff, and I was just quite a shy person, and I felt that music helped me express a lot of things. A lot of my girlfriends were listening to pop music, and I was listening to like Anima by Tool and that sort of thing. And I guess like any situation, New Zealand's kind of the same with teenagers and growing up and, first loves and all that sort of thing. And for a while there, I was like only dated guys that were in bands.
That's a bad idea.
Yeah.
Young and dumb.
Yeah.
Aside from the music that you grew up on, from your dad, like what were some of your favorite bands, albums that really meant a lot to you that, you feel like you had a personal connection with?
Probably Deftones, Around the Fur. Just reminds me of being a 14-year-old and just, puppy love and that sort of thing. What else have we got here? Snot, Get Some. I was a big fan of Lynn Strait from Snot, and a lot of the music just made me want to be in a band as well. And then I sort of a few years on started getting into other stuff like the Mars Volta, like Delousing and Comatorium was one of my favorite albums of all time.
Incredible.
And COVID in Cambria. I've actually had the opportunity to open for them twice in New Zealand, which is cool. So, I don't think of any other albums that were really... I mean, I was into a lot of music as a teenager. Your Tools and Slipknot, like Slipknot came out, and new metal stuff.
Yeah. That was the time. Yeah, that was a good time.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of a student were you? What sort of, was there anything that really, excited you about school or education or whatnot?
Probably just music.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was pretty good up until fourth form, and I decided that I just wanted to do music all the time, and my English book was filled with lyrics, and I was always late for class because I'd be in the music room at lunchtime and I wouldn't hear the bell. So yeah, I was always there playing, learning guitar or playing on the instruments or, that sort of thing. That's pretty much what got me through high school. The only thing I was really excited for every day.
Yeah, I understand. Like, even though I'm not a musician myself, like when I was in middle school and high school, I loved music and loved hip hop so much that all my like English things that like papers and stories, if it was open ended, ended up being about music.
Yeah.
It'll be like an essay about Tupac or something, or a bunch of characters based on like the Wu-Tang Clan or something.
Yeah.
Sort of, at what point did you kind of make those first steps towards, just loving music into, hey, let's actually write some music, let's perform in a band, take like a serious step?
I remember I was 15, and there was this high school band that I used to watch performing a lot in the music room, and they needed a vocalist, and I was just like, okay. I jumped up, and they were like, I did a big scream one day, and they're like, whoa, and I didn't even know I could do that. And so we performed in the Talent Quest, and I guess it kind of went from there. And then the next year I joined a band with a whole lot of musicians around Rotorua, and we entered a big school competition like nationwide called Smoke Free Rock Quest, and won our regional, and I won all these prizes and stuff like Women's Musicianship and Lyric Writers Award, and I was like definitely just like, okay, this is what I want to do. I'm going to carry on after high school, and I did.
How did the schools or your local government or New Zealand in general sort of kind of support the arts and music and people that wanted to do music?
School was pretty supportive. I had a really supportive music teacher, and especially with the Rock Quest, it helps musicians get out there. And I think our government's pretty good with music. We have a lot of, festivals and stuff going around. Every year we have Homegrown, which is a big Kiwi music fest in Wellington.
Yeah.
And it always sells out, always goes off, and it's just absolutely amazing. There's all these different stages. We were actually supposed to play it last weekend, but it got postponed.
Yeah.
Because of Corona.
Else.
So, yeah. But no, New Zealand's pretty cool for music, but there is a lot of tall poppy syndrome, unfortunately.
Wait, what's that?
Oh, just like if someone you see a band or something starting to get really good or getting noticed overseas, and then people start talking shit about you because they're jealous.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It just has a cute name out over there. So once you starting to get serious as a band after high school and whatnot, like, what's the music scene like out there where you're from? Sort of paint that picture for me if you can.
Rotorua wasn't too bustling. Like, there's people in the city I was raised in were more into hip hop and R&B. So we did a lot of traveling out to like Hamilton, where I live now, and Auckland, because there were actually like bars specializing to the rock and metal crowd. So that was always fun. And there still is around the countries as well. But yeah, not so much in my town that I was raised. Still isn't really.
What do you feel like bands have to do, especially in rock and metal, from New Zealand to get attention outside of New Zealand?
Travel outside, and just really push yourself. Try and be different than that other rock band in New Zealand. For us, we started to get a following in UK and Europe because we go there every year. Though this year we were supposed to be flying out soon and we can't. Hello, darling. Sorry, it's my 3-year-old.
Mama,
Hi.
you're not on the phone.
No.
Perfect.
She's taking it away.
How cute.
Yeah. Don't mention it on my mum.
So, what's been the response when you tour out in Europe, UK, for the band? Sort of, why do you feel like they appreciate what you guys do?
I'm not too sure. I guess because we do bring something a little bit different. I run around on stage a lot, cartwheels, splits.
All right.
I think it's just the energy that we bring as well. And we did a tour with Hailstorm in Europe 2 years back, and I think that really helped us as well because we've got Hailstorm's fan base, and then we were opening for them every night, and I mean, being compared to Lizzie Hale a lot, but I've also got the growl that comes with it, and a lot of people, I guess, had never really seen that in a female.
Yeah, there's a few, but like not really. Either it's like one thing or another, but you can do both.
Yeah.
So, when you're getting these sort of comparisons, you look, what kind of goes through your head? What is there anybody that you look up to? Whether it's just musicians in general or women in rock music. What are some things that it goes through your head and some things that you look up to?
Yeah, Lizzie Hale's probably definitely one of them, especially being on tour with her because we toured with them in New Zealand and Australia as well. And she just she brings it like every night. They all bring it every night, just like it's their first show, you know.
Right.
And that's very inspirational. And yeah, just other bands, I guess. We toured with a Canadian band called Sumo Psycho.
Okay.
Yeah, and they were just like that as well, just very energetic on stage every night after night, just up there. As if, you know, if you're sick, you're still going to get up there and do your thing. But I mean, I'm inspired still by like a lot of bands like Deftones. Once again, they were going to be playing our Shores 2 weeks back, but it got postponed.
Yeah. Deftones is one of my favorite bands of all time too.
Yeah. They were wicked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know, as the lead singer of this band, being a woman in, you know, hard rock metal, do you like doing these shows with other bands that have female led you know, vocalists, or, you know, do you just not care? Do you do you like going on the road with other women?
I haven't really. I mean, I've been on the road obviously with Hailstorm and Sumo Psycho, but yeah, I don't really care. It doesn't really bother me, like male, female, whatever. It's all cool as long as everyone gets along and no one's a dick.
Of course,
cool.
You know, that's what I'm about, you know, whatever. Don't be a dick, you know. Was there ever any pushback, like, in your local scenes when you were coming up, being a woman vocalist in these bands?
A little bit. Like, people would sort of talk shit about you because you're a female doing this, and it wasn't really heard of. And because, you know, in New Zealand, there's not a lot of female rock bands. And, you know, I just ignore it. I don't care, whatever. Just, I'm doing my thing, and I'm loving it, and I get to travel when there isn't a virus. I get to travel the world doing what I love. So, yeah, they can talk shit as much as they like, because I'm still getting to do what I love around the world, and yeah, it's awesome.
What's your favorite thing about touring? You know, do you have a favorite city? You know, is there anything that you've learned about yourself, you know, touring with this band?
Yeah, I mean, I when we tour, I love just having a lot of rest days. I like going for walks by myself. So like go and explore a city. You know, last time we were in Berlin. Like I've been there a few times now, but I sort of took a walk by myself into the city, and it was about an hour walk by myself. But that's kind of what I do. I like to have little adventures and just feel like I'm finding myself, you know. And favorite places. Love Aussie. You know, Melbourne, Sydney's pretty cool. Brizzy. And UK. I always love London. We have a lot of Kiwis come to our shows. Germany, Italy, Milan. Love Denmark. I've got, you know, actually my name Skulander is Danish, so I feel like we've got a bit of family history there.
Okay.
Yeah, Amsterdam is cool. Yeah. No, it's so many places that are awesome. Just it's cool to travel. I mean, because New Zealand isn't very old either. We're only about 200 years old, and so there's not a lot of history in our country.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, when you're not being tied down by a worldwide epidemic virus, what are some of your favorite things to do when you're at home, like in the area? What's the coolest things to do in New Zealand?
Just get out and see a lot of the touristy places, I guess. Like, oh, what happened there? Oh, still there? I don't know what's going on here.
I can still hear you.
Okay. Yeah, and just like we've got luge in Rotorua, you know, gondolas, getting out to the beaches. We've got some beautiful beaches here. And like the cool thing with New Zealand is you're always like a few hours away from a beach, or you're a few hours away from the snowy mountains sort of thing. But at home, like I'm keeping up with my fitness, especially at the moment, and I do a lot of pole fit, so pole dance for strength.
Okay.
Which I really, and aerial hoops. So sort of the circus arts. Pretty fun.
Nice. What's you have the new album out. What do you hope people get out of this album that maybe, like, just in general, what do you hope your listeners get out of this new album?
Well, at the moment, especially just being able to relate to the album. We've got a lot of songs that are quite emotional, like, our song Endo, which was written about my stage 4 endometriosis that I didn't even know I had until I was told that I had an 11 centimeter mass growing on my pelvis.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
It's all right. And, I have a lot of women come up to me when we play this song and just go, well, thank you for writing this song. It really touched me, and thank you for bringing this topic to air, because a lot of people don't really talk about it.
And a lot of people, and I got a lot of women. I know a lot of my women friends. They, there's many of them that have endometriosis, and there's a lot of struggle with, just getting for them to get doctors to believe the shit that they're going through.
Yeah, it is. It's the same here as well. It's silly, and there's a lot of people suffering, and also we've got a song on the album about suicide, and that's something else that everyone needs to be talking about more,
of course,
and mental health. So we're hoping that this is going to bring some things to light for people, and it's going to maybe keep some people busy with lockdown, because I think most of the world is in lockdown. Basically.
Yeah. Was that lovely little girl that came up there for a little bit your only child?
Yes. Yeah.
Nice. How has, like, your music and just your perspective of everything changed, when you became a mother?
Well, I just didn't want to let being a mum stop me from doing anything. So I wanted to prove people wrong. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, you're pregnant, or you're going to have a baby, or that's the end of Devilskin. Well, no. And we went on, like, we did our first show back after I had her, 3 months after, and we opened for Disturbed at Victor Arena in New Zealand to, like, thousands and thousands of people.
Okay.
And then I went on and did a tour with Hailstorm in New Zealand and Australia, and then I went overseas, took Georgia and my husband overseas and did a Europe and UK tour, and came back, and then went back over like 2 months later and did some more touring, and I wasn't going to let it stop me, and I've taken her on tours with me. It has been a little bit harder, but if you want it, you're going to work for it. You're going to work harder.
Yeah, there's always somebody, telling women what they should do, if they should be a mother, if they shouldn't be a mother.
Yeah.
If a woman doesn't want to have kids, then they, talk shit about that. So yeah. I commend you for being like, yo, I still want to have this musical career, after I have this child, and that's awesome.
Yeah. Cheers.
That's dope. I like that. I always like to ask this question during my interviews, is that what sort of a nugget of knowledge from your life and career that anybody listening to this, doesn't matter what sort of avenue of artistry that they're in, that they could sort of project into their own life?
Just if you're doing music and you really, really want it, just keep going. Don't give up. If people tell you that you're not going to get anywhere, well, prove them wrong. Put in the hard work. Get your music out there, and if you really want it, you're going to get it. Because that's what we've done. We've been knocked down a few times in New Zealand, and we've just got back up and just kept going and trying, and now this band, and very happy.
you know, what does the band do to sort of keep things fresh, keep things going, even when you do get knocked down?
Write more music. Recollect ourselves, and just sometimes, anger can write some good songs, and just keep trying, really. Just try and do things from a different perspective. At the moment it's happening. We had all these shows scheduled and we had to postpone or cancel them, but we're still trying to make sure that people can follow us, and we've got an album coming out next week with no gigs. We can't do our meet and greets, but we're going to release it on all digital platforms, and then once this lockdown is over for New Zealand, we'll be sending out these hard copies and hopefully meeting with our fans and stuff. That's just hard to say.
We're seeing right now during this whole, pandemic lockdown that, a lot of musicians, DJs or whatnot are using the videos like on social media and everything to have parties, have DJ sets, bring a positive energy through music, to everybody that's sort of freaking out right now. What's your perspective about that, and what do you hope this band can do to sort of heal this time for everybody?
Well, I guess, I think the DJs and stuff getting on and doing things is great. I mean, we put out a show last Saturday, which was actually our set from Homegrown Festival 2 years ago, but it was in virtual reality, so you could watch it on your headsets and stuff. And we had planned to get together to do another internet show, but now we've been told we have to stay in our home, so I don't get to see my band for the next 4 weeks, maybe 6.
Right.
But, we're going to release our song. Our music's going to be available on Spotify, so even if people aren't able to buy the album, they can still listen to it on Spotify. We've got Niall doing run-throughs of his guitar and putting that up. I'm even thinking of just singing some stuff solo and putting it up, just snippets from the new album. Just trying to engage with people as much as we can from the comfort of our own homes.
Sure. Yeah. And finally, before we get out of here, how are you, how are you dealing with all of this, personally? What are you doing to sort of keep your cool during this, shutdown?
I'm doing all right. I mean, I was pretty bummed because it was last week that we found out that we lost our tour and pretty much everything else, but I've come out of it, and now I'm at home with my husband and my daughter, and we're just getting through the day with lots of activities, and I'm doing fitness every day, and there's music. We've got a little arcade in our garage, so just playing some old school like Street Fighter and that sort of thing. Nice. Yeah, just keeping busy, trying to remain positive, really.
Nice. Right, Jennie, it's been great talking with you. Like I said, I really dig the new album from Devilskin, which is called Red. Will be out April 3rd. Probably that date already passed when I post this, but if not, it'll be everywhere, and you can listen to it while you're dealing with this worldwide pandemic. Please, everybody, stay indoors. Don't go outside if you don't have to. The more we can lock down right now, the faster we'll get past this. So where can people go online to get more information about Devilskin, the new album, and stay up to date on everything that will hopefully be announced in the near future?
Oh, you cut out a bit there, but I think I got it. Pretty much we've got our Facebook, which is facebook.com Devilskin New Zealand. Same, follow us on Instagram for Devilskin New Zealand. And we have a website as well, which is www.devilskin.co.nz. So all the information regarding the album and what's coming up with us will be on there.
Hey, yo, thank you for listening to this episode of Fresh is the Word, hosted and produced by myself, Kelly K. Fresh Frazier. And powered by Anchor at anchor.fm/freshoftheword. Intro theme music by Foulmouth, Shimmy Bango, and Knox Money. Fresh of the Word is available on all major streaming platforms. Please rate and review on Apple Podcasts and Stitcher. If you want to support Fresh of the Word, please consider pledging via Patreon at patreon.com/freshoftheword. Follow Fresh of the Word on social media on Twitter at FreshOfThePod, on Instagram at Fresh of the Word Podcast, and join the Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/FreshOfTheWord. For more information about Fresh of the Word and our other podcasts, Breaking Records and Renaissance Soul, and a collection of pop culture articles and reviews, please visit freshofthepodcast.com. Thank you for listening and your support. Goodbye and good night.
Fresh is the word.